谢谢，谢谢你，谢谢。Sawubona, you beautiful visionary. I am Thembi Buthelezi, Chief Visionary Officer at Future Gen Leaders and the founder of the Future Gen Leaders Foundation. Welcome to our Ubuntu facilitated live streams. Today, I have an incredible visionary, a very close friend of mine. We've had lots of time in Shanghai, laughing, learning, crying together. And he is a financier, international financier, a CEO of an incredible startup, and he's just a great human being and philosopher. What? Right. So, okay, when you hit the spot, what do you do? Because you're a global CEO and you deal with this stuff all the time. What do you do?
Well, it's not, it's really, there are two things about what you do. First of all, what do you do next time to do better so that you can find out, you can get to know who might have this kind of spots. That's right. Number one, you need to think about. Number two is, what do you deal with it when that happens? Now I'm going to talk about the second one. Really, there's when you get to that point, it's almost like you hit a lottery. It's like you just live with it. It's going to create bad situation for you in the company, in the business, for you to work with. At this
you
point,
have to let go. You have to let the people go.
Let him go, even though she was ongoing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one way or another, company, when you bring a staff, you would hope this would be the right one, and you would kind of train him or her, and see him grow up, see him empowering himself, enable him, and empower him. In order for him to sort of be able to contribute to the company's business, okay? In order to contribute to the company's business, and you would hope that he will be there for long. Usually I think it's the last thing you want to do is to really fire somebody. Right.
Because I think there's more to growth. I mean, yeah, but it's very difficult. It's very challenging, especially when you come to an emerging market, to actually see what the needs are and the skills are. Because, I mean, I believe that people can develop neural pathways, but it's difficult. It's a long training process of repetition. And the world moves so fast, we don't have time sometimes as CEO to sit and mentor because the world...
I mean, even if you have the energy, you have the will to sit down and be patient and mentoring, you got to have a really strong heart when you do that. Meaning that get ready to be disappointed many times, and you still are willing to do it for the next one.
This is the thing. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, leadership is challenging because you are like, a few years ahead of me. So every time I talk to you, I learn a lot, especially when dealing with people, because I'm just like, no, you are worth more. Why are you doing this to yourself? This is so silly. And I think that's the true path of a leader is always.
Meaning, I guess so back to the first one, what do you do next time when, to kind of avoid, to try to make sure, everybody, if you do business, you want to hire with a high rate of success of finding the right people. So what do you do really throughout this? You just need to, first of all, maybe having just constantly revising your hiring strategy. Really, if you're new to the culture, I think you really wanted to delve in lots of culture aspects into your interviewing process, trying to find people. And also, second of all, you have to have kind of a certain kind of plan in place to mitigate the risk of this, if this person, is not the right one, or is not what he or she appears to be during the interview. You need to have a process.
Which is a big thing in emerging markets I've seen, is that somebody can, they know enough to convince you that they know the job. And once they start the job, then it's a total nightmare. It's a total nightmare. And so I think that period where you have to understand that it just might not work out. And it's not bad.
And also, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you just need to kind of implement the better practice during the business to make to properly screen out the people and to probably give them a period of time to make sure they're the right one before you really kind of putting more responsibility or load on that person. That you know, it may take longer than kind of a developed, mature market with more with better professionals. In the emerging market, you cannot. I mean, on one hand, you want to be trusting, you want to be giving them the trust that you think they deserve. But on the other side, trust itself doesn't work the wonder. A lot of times it gives you a surprise. But
because the difference in value, cultural values, even though you're still Chinese, but because you've lived in America for 20 years, coming back home you were foreign, right?
Yeah. I'm foreign, and I think my nature in general is more trusting, right? Because growing up, I am empowered by quite a few trusting mentors, including my teachers. So when I grew up, I believed in, you know, trusting is a good part of working with other people. I usually start with a lot of trust. Unlike some other people who usually is those people who naturally feel insecure, or somehow they got this insecure kind of state of their life. They are usually dealing with people, as you know, with, you know, kind of not trust with people. It takes a long time for them to trust you. For me, you know, I look at myself. So far, I think I felt I gained a lot, although I do kind of have some loss because I'm trusting somebody. But overall, I feel like, and I'm still sticking to my same way. I'm still as trusting as I used, you know, as I was before. Even though after some of my trust will betrayed, but that doesn't necessarily change the way how I deal with other people.
Yeah, and I think that's what I love about you so much over the years. You've always had the same story, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're going through a hard time. It's just you. Like, situations outside, life situations doesn't change who you are, because everybody goes through tough times, whether you know,
that's right,
or China or Africa, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the one good thing about me coming back to China at age 40, because when I come back, I guess I was old enough to be mature to sort of stabilize on what my value system is.
Right.
And I have seen enough through my life that of course, if people stick to the value system which makes them feel good, right? So I feel good with what I have developed in my value system. I, in general, felt like because of that, I've been a lucky person. Right. I've been kind of blessed with lots of joys, and I also, even in materialistic world, I think I'm doing not too bad. Right. So although so overall, it's kind of still reinforcing. I think I actually concluded, you know, the cognition system of people, there are two kinds. One is more open, more kind of trusting. Another one, usually it's a common impaired. Another, I mean, there are a group of people, if you look around, they're like that. They're kind of more enclosure. I mean, they're looping in their own thinking system and looking for validation, and they can actually find the validation, and they believe in more what they believe.
I've been reading this book called Snakes in Suits. It's by these three psychologists. One is a sociologist, one is a psychiatrist, and one is a neuroscientist. And they wrote about their experience. Like they did research over a 20-year period in America, and they have, I think it was like 1 in 25 people in America in the corporate world are sociopaths. So they live in their own world, and they don't remember.
Yes.
They have no understand. They get no perspective. So their world is the only thing that's true. And they go out here outside and they like backstab and they do strange things to try and get people to buy into the idea because it's crazy.
Yeah, but in his mind, everything is so real.
No, I know. Yeah, I had that experience last year with a sociopath. And when you deal with a sociopath, you can't get out of that energy because these people are crazy.
You can't. That's what I call the enclosed. I mean, maybe somebody in between, but people who tends to be kind of introvert or enclosed with their own thinking system, constantly looking for self-proving. You and I are doing the same thing. The only difference is we are self-proving a more open thinking system.
Right.
We're constantly looking for unknown. We're constantly looking for blind spots. But there are people who are enclosed. They don't even know they have a blind spot. They don't even think about it. If they think the world should be like this, they look for every evidence to prove that the world is like this, while ignoring many more evidence showing the world is not like this.
For me last year, it was very comforting to be able to call you and say, Andy, I just dealt with an Asian person who was not normal. I've never seen anything like this. I almost checked myself into a mental institution because I said, no, this is not normal. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a person who behaves like this. What is going on? And you were able to explain to me from a cultural perspective. Then I was like, oh, I'm not crazy. Trusting some people is dangerous for myself, my health, and my business, because not everybody who looks a certain way and has certain degrees and is normal.
No.
Oh my God, it's crazy out in the business world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing after so many years, I think I'm finally reached to a point. I think I'm having a relatively full picture, not maybe complete, but a relatively full picture about how people's mind works and why these people look crazy. Why this person is telling you he did it right while he in everybody else in everybody else's eyes, he's doing a crazy thing, but he's still righteously look at you, calmly telling you, I think I'm right.
My person was like, stop hurting me. I'm like, excuse me, why are you going after my clients and my friends? What are you doing? She's like, stop hurting me. Stop hurting me. Empowering woman. I'm like, these are my clients. How do you go and steal my clients? What are you doing? I don't understand. What's wrong with that? We must share. I said, okay, this is some kind of crazy that I don't understand and I don't want to end up in jail. So
that's the thing. So I think with that understanding, I'm a whole lot better looking at all different kinds of things without really getting too, sort of surprised.